It is official. The 2024-2025 NBA champions is the OKC Thunder. It is bittersweet that the season is over. Like the 2025 postseason gave us game winners, comebacks, upsets, gave us everything. So I'm kind of sad about it being over, and I can't wait to do the rewatch deep dive later in the offseason when I get bored about what the hell happened in the 2025 postseason. But the Thunder just wrapped off a 68-win regular season with the Larry O'Brien Trophy. And whether or not you respect his game, you like him as a person or a player, you got to tip your cap to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, because just at the age of 26, he just did something that's like very rare. He won a scoring title, he won the MVP, he won a championship, and then he wrapped it off with the Finals MVP. That really is legendary stuff. I got so much love and respect for this Pacers team, man, and we're gonna talk about them in a second. For them to have that run in the fourth quarter where like OKC, everybody in that arena was like, oh my goodness, no. For them to have that level of fight considering the circumstances, I got nothing but love, and I'll always remember that team too. And I feel like it's rare for me to like have that kind of mindset towards the team that lost in the finals, but that's how good of a run it was for them, and that's how much fight they gave in every single series. But again, we're gonna talk about that now. And we get to the third quarter, and the Pacers are throwing the ball around, they're turning the ball over left or right, and OKC ends up going up by high double digits or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, if OKC closes out this game, how will I remember them as a team? And it is very simple, and it is something that I've been very redundant when talking about. It is that legendary defense that we have been seeing. This team has the best turnover margin of any team in the postseason. This team has just been an elite level defense, and I know we've said it time and time again, but now I'm thinking about it, and look, let me show you how elite of a defensive run this was for them. In the regular season, these are the stats, right? The offensive and defensive ratings. In the first round of the playoffs, they went against the Memphis Grizzlies, who were sixth in offense. The second round of the playoffs, they went against the Denver Nuggets, who were fourth in offense. In the conference finals, they went against the Minnesota Timberwolves, who were eighth in offense. And in the NBA finals, they went against the Indiana Pacers, who were 10th in offense. And y'all know that is skewed based on the first 25 or so games of the season. So this legendary defense just went against four offensive juggernauts. And not only went against these four offensive juggernauts, shut the faucet off quite a bit. Now, of course, we got 2 7-game series, and it wasn't like they just steamrolled their way through these things. But I think a lot of the stuff that we saw of them going to 7-game series was because the offense wasn't as advertised. That defense really was, though. So that's how I remember this team. Forever engraved, man. I will forever remember this team for exactly that. This was a game that I think Chet Holmgren put on an absolute masterclass on the defensive side of the ball. The shooting and the offense has not been there for him this 7-game series. I thought tonight he was pretty good in picking his spots and using his body to get some easy ones. But it was the defensive side of the ball where there was just stretches in that third quarter where nobody could score other than TJ McConnell. Shout out to TJ McConnell. And Chet Holmgren was blocking everything. He was switching out. He was preventing cuts. He was just an absolute monster. And I think it's so easy for a player to recognize, like, man, I'm shooting 11% from three and 30-something% from the field as a 7-footer. Damn, this is not really for me. I can't stay locked in. And he just recognized the stakes, recognized where he was, and just really played a phenomenal game. Shai has been so good at the game-by-game adjustments. Like, you just don't get two like poor decision-making games in a row from Shai. Last game, I thought he looked pretty bad when it came to decision making, and that was partially because the Indiana Pacers did an amazing job of mixing in when they were going to help, where they were going to help from, and who they were sending. And this one, I thought he really did think the game a little bit better, and he ended up playmaking better, which in time ended up meaning that they got better looks. A team that had struggled to even take 3-pointers in this game. I thought that they got, 16, 18 up in the first half. I'm like, yeah, OKC, let's do it. They took 43 pointers tonight. That's not OKC, but they recognize the time and the place. A lot of that's because, man, when you get a team to turn the ball over 21 times, you get so many extra possessions. The Pacers shot 70 shots today, almost 20 more shots from the OKC Thunder. That is them getting out in transition and them getting second chance opportunities from Lou Dort in that second half. And, the Pacers tried to do everything that they could to match some of that energy, to match some of these lineups. But obviously they were at a big disadvantage considering what happened in that first quarter. And it may suck because I think through time it might be remembered as that, right? What happened with Tyrese Haliburton might be the first thing that comes to mind when you think about the 2025 NBA Championship Game 7. And maybe it should be, but I also don't want to take away from what OKC has put together this entire season, right? This is not a surprise champion. They won 68 games. Like, I'm already seeing ridiculous hot takes on the timeline, even before the game was over, about it being the worst champion. And if you don't like the team, that's fine. It's fair. Everybody has their preferences on the styles that they want to watch as a basketball fan. But the motherfucking team just won 68. It ain't like they were a 41 team that went on a run. This team has been this good this entire time. And for them to win this championship, I think they mentioned when they were doing the whole ceremony, it being the second youngest team to ever win. This is really special stuff. And Sam Presti, I think you got to start off there, right? Sam Presti had an opportunity over a decade ago to build a team that we thought would be in championship after championship, final series after final series. They got one final series and one bad decision. Well, one of the biggest bad decision ended that as a potential dynasty. And I think Sam Presti learned his lesson after last year, right? It would have been very easy to try to mortgage some of these younger dudes to go be big seller or big buyers after losing to the Dallas Mavericks last season. He stayed put. He got a guy like Isaiah Hartenstein who was able to impact these games and just watch the team grow around. Like a team that basically went from, 19 wins to NBA champions in 3 seasons. That sound like a fucking KOT for a Q video. It happened in real life. It just happened in real life. And I don't know if I expected at 2 o'clock in the morning when the Paul George trade broke that eventually that would lead to OKC winning the championship. If anything, I thought that no, I'm not trying to rub it in, Clippers fans. I promise you I'm not. I thought if anything, that trade was setting the Clippers up to go on multiple runs. And instead, it sets OKC up for their first championship in 2025. And who the hell knows what happens after this, right? Even though they were this juggernaut 68-win team, it ain't like we can guarantee that they're going to go back. So the fact that you get one, so many people have talked about this, whether it be Steve Kerr or these people that won multiple championships, always talk about how tough just getting that first one is. And OKC can say confidently that we got it and we deserved it. And I respect the hell out of that. I want to talk about Tyrese Haliburton though. I want to talk about Tyrese Haliburton because like I mentioned, when you think about the Game 7, I think that the Haliburton injury might pop off more than anything else that happened in this game. As y'all know, Tyrese Haliburton is my dog. He's one of my favorite players in all of basketball. It's rare that I feel as devastated as I did when that injury happened. It's rare. I've had it a few different times in my life, right? You think about my first year of high school when D Rose goes down against the 76ers. Obviously, that's a moment there. But I feel like if you are a fan of sports and you grew up wanting to make it to the league, this is the type of game you shoot in the driveway about. Game 7 of the NBA Finals, my team needs me, right? You've done that before, right? Game on the line. I got a ball right here. Game on the line. Kenny Beecham takes a shot. And he misses. Oh, there was 4 more seconds added to the shot. Like that, you live for Game 7s. So when he goes down, even before they showed the injury, like a replay, and you see the pop. Oh my God, I can't stop thinking about it or visualize because they played on the fucking broadcast 100 times. When he went down, the emotion that he had, I haven't talked to him. I'm sure that emotion is not about, oh, I'm in pain. I'm sure that emotion is about, damn, this is Game 7 and I can't be there to potentially win this game for my guys. And I feel so bad for him. I feel so bad for Pacer fans. And I'm fucking sick to my stomach over some of the conversations that have happened over the last, 5 days or so when it comes to this calf strain. I hate the way it is talked about at times. A player plays through an injury and struggles from the field when he ain't given enough. A player decides to not play, and now he don't care about the team. Skip Bayless had tweets before Tyrese Haliburton goes down with his injury, making fun of the idea that he was faking an injury and that his Achilles popped. And the medical professionals that do sports injuries on Twitter are saying, yeah, a calf strain can lead to that. I don't know what people want. I just don't know. Because if he would have went down with that injury, like he did in the game, and decided not to come back, he would have been called soft and not been called a bad leader because he wasn't there for his guys. And he was there for his guys in Game 7. He had 3 threes in the first fucking quarter. and his Achilles snap, and it's like, well, come on, man. I feel so bad. This organization has never been this close to winning. And they lost. And they haven't officially called it a Achilles tear. But we saw that. They said a lower leg injury, an Achilles injury. We saw that. So not only was he not able to be there for his guys for Game 7 on court, he may not be able to play at all next season. Dame, Tatum, Haliburton, Kyrie Irving towards ACL before the postseason last year. We're about to go, and I feel like I'm missing somebody off the top of my head. We're about to go into a 2025, 2026 season without some of the best players in the league. And, some of these are like the Damian Lillard one and the Tyrese Haliburton one feels pretty similar. I'm injured, but it's the playoffs, baby. I got to do something. I got to go out there and try to help my team. I think it was Gilbert Arenas that said he texted or talked to Tatum and Dame about their injuries. And he said that both of them said that they had calf strains before it happened. So how about this now? And I'm sure everybody's going to forget about this next year, and somebody else is going to be going through an injury, and we're going to make fun of them for not playing. When you see somebody's out with an injury or playing through an injury, accept it at face value. These dudes are so hyper competitive. Nobody is out there, especially not the cream of the crop. The all NBA players are not about to fake an injury, y'all. Come on, man. It's so frustrating the way our game is covered. I hate so much about it. But I was genuinely emotional. I ain't afraid to say it. I was genuinely emotional, man. I was genuinely emotional when that happened. Because win or lose, I don't know what happens in this game if he plays, but he has the opportunity to lay it all on the court and say that if we lost because, well, you lost with me instead of without me. And when they show them walking off the court, the camera's following TJ McConnell, who is extremely emotional with someone. I don't know if that was a relative or whatever. And the relative tells the camera, get out of here. Then it cuts to the other camera, and it's got Reese on the crutches, and he's hugging TJ McConnell, who's, man, I don't know. Getting to the finals is really hard. So to be this close, I can understand the emotion. I can understand the emotion. I am extremely proud and happy for the OKC Thunder. I am extremely proud and happy for the fight that the Pacers gave us. This was a 7-game series, a series that the the OKC Thunder were a minus 700 favorite in this one. This series should not have gone 7. Carlisle, even though Pascal Siakam should have, series just, Pascal Siakam should have probably played a little bit more, regardless. It was a great series. A great season. And now we point our attention to the NBA draft and free agency.